Really welcome everybody back to Desert Hills High School, where we get ready for the other semifinal between the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles and the Desert Hills Thunder. Desert Hills, the host team of this tournament, and they're looking to try to get into tonight's 8 p.m. final. And Maple Mountain will try to get there as well. It should be an interesting contest. One semifinal already in the book. The Pleasant Grove Vikings will await the winner of this one. The loser of this contest will turn around and play at 5:45. Against the Payson Lions, so it should be a fun and interesting contest. Maple Mountain will be the home team here this afternoon against the host team, the Desert Hills Thunder, who last night beat Juan Diego here at home to advance out of Pool Pool A, as the number 2 team. We're just about getting set, ready to go here for baseball on what should be a pretty good afternoon. The rain showers, most of them anyway, have moved away from the field of play and have moved probably northward is my guess, but nonetheless we're set ready to play baseball. Maple Mountain in the maroon tops and the white pants. Desert Hills wearing the white tops with kind of a black and kind of a black stripe that say D Hills across the chest, and we are ready to go for baseball. Here's Trey Wingett, the center fielder, to stand in and lead it off. Wingett will hit from the left side of the plate here against the left-hander as Jeff Seavey will take the mound. And we are ready to go, and the pitch on its way is in there for a called strike. And we are underway right now just at about 1:50, so the 2-hour time limit now kind of in play. Here is the 0-1 pitch, fouled straight back by Wingett, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes. The count on the Desert Hills center fielder. We'll have the Spanish Fork Juan Diego game, which will follow this one, coming up at roughly right around 3:30. And the pitch on its way, breaking ball called, strike 3, and froze Wingett, the first strikeout for Seavey on the day, and there's one away here in the first for the designated hitter, Seth Betts. Betts will be the designated hitter for this Desert Hills team coming out of 3AA that has played really always in competition for the 3A state championship, and the first pitch fired in there for a strike. 0-1 on Seth Betts. Top of the first inning, just underway, no score between Maple Mountain and Desert Hills, semifinal number 2. The 0-1 pitch on its way, swung on and missed, and it's no balls and 2 strikes, the count on Seth Betts. We'll give you the lineup here for Desert Hills momentarily, and the 0-2 pitch on its way home is high with the fastball, 1-2. Trey Wingett will lead it off. Seth Betts hits in the 2 spot. Sam Roten will hit third at third base. Chad Nelson hits cleanup in right field. And here's the 1-2 pitch on its way home. Is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts here, and there's 2 outs here in the first inning. And here's third baseman Sam Roten. Getting the start for Desert Hills and hitting in the 5 spot will be the pitcher, Drew Thorpe. Bloomquist will hit in the 5 spot. Krieger, the catcher, hits 6th. Then out in front is Sam Roten. He swings and misses, no balls and a strike. Trey Allred, the shortstop, will hit in the 8th spot, and rounding out the order and hitting 9th is going to be number 7, Bo Barbin. That one's in there for a called strike 2, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes here on Sam Roten. Seavey looking to strike out the side here with the final strike of the inning. The 0-2 on its way is fouled away by Roten, and we'll have another 0-2 pitch coming. Defensively for Maple Mountain, Colin Reed is in left, Dawson Hall is in center, and in right field it is Justin Hartman. On the infield, Tyler Boyack at third base. At shortstop, it's going to be Jake Roberts. Tito Dennison at second. Over at first is Tyson Ellis. Mikey Peterson behind the plate. And the 0-2 pitch is going to be bounced up the middle, getting there, playing it on a couple of hops. They'll throw to first, bang, bang play. They got him as Tito Dennison throws him out. And a quick 1-2-3 top of the first inning for Desert Hills. We've played a half inning, and Maple Mountain will be coming up here in the bottom of the first inning here in this first game of the semifinal. Let's take a moment here to thank our sponsors on Spanish Fork 17 for making this broadcast possible. We want to thank the car guys, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, MVP Sports, Dickerson Automotive, Michael Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law, Two Jacks Pizza for making this broadcast and our many other broadcasts possible throughout this season. And we are set, ready to go. We also want to remind you to please follow us on our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube to keep up with the latest shows, live broadcasts, and our SF17 staff. Just look for Spanish Fork 17. So it's going to be Jake Roberts and Tito Dennison and Tyson Ellis, 1, 2, 3 coming up here for the Golden Eagles. And the bottom of this first inning, Maple Mountain trying to get to play the late game tonight at 8 against Pleasant Grove, which was a very competitive game yesterday. The Vikings just getting past Spanish Fork. The Dons, if you didn't catch that one, hit a 3-run homer that came in the top of the 7th inning. And I couldn't get that final run across. There's a 2-hour time limit today that came into effect when the game started. So the morning game between Payson, they didn't get in the game the full 7 innings between Payson and Juan Diego earlier today. So here's Jake Roberts to lead it off for Maple Mountain, as Drew Thorpe gets ready to deliver his first pitch of the ball game to Jake Roberts. And the first pitch on its way in, called strike, and it's 0-1. Ready to go, and there's the 0-1 pitch, misses for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. They count. We'll get you the Maple Mountain batting lineup here as we go in the bottom of the first inning. And that one missing for a ball. It's 2-1 the count here on Jake Roberts. Here's the 2-1 on its way. That one high ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. And Maple Mountain a ball away from getting that leadoff hitter on here in the bottom of the first inning. 3-1 on its way. Roberts pops this one up and sends that one well foul back into the entryway. And there's the ball 4 given to Jake Roberts. So Maple Mountain with a runner on in the first, and that's going to bring up Tito Dennison. Dennison's going to step in here for his first at-bat of the ball game. We'll get you here in a moment. We'll get out the Maple Mountain lineup for you. The first pitch blocked in the dirt. A good stop behind the plate by Krieger for Desert Hills. Leading off is Jake Roberts. Tito Dennison hits second. Tyson Ellis will hit third. Hitting cleanup will be Justin Hartman. Hitting fifth, Mikey Peterson. Caleb Peterson, number 24, will DH. That one's just right back to the pitcher, and Thorpe will throw to first in time for the first out of the ball game. But Jake Roberts moves up 90 feet, moves down to second base, and now a runner in scoring position here for Tyson Ellis. Dawson Hall hits in the 7th spot. Tyler Boyack 8th, and then it's going to be Colin Reed will hit in the 9th spot. Drew Thorpe, the right-hander, on the mound for Desert Hills. And Thorpe there will look back the runner, Jake Roberts, on at second base. And there Tyson Ellis has to kind of twist and turn out of the way for a ball And the count evens up here. Count will be 1-0 on Tyson Ellis. Maple Mountain maroon tops and white pants. The pickoff move, diving back safely and getting it underneath the tag is Jake Roberts. And now the catcher, Mason Krieger, will go out and have a quick word here behind the plate with his pitcher, out on the mound to have a quick conversation with his pitcher. That's one thing that we've seen, that 2-hour time limit come into play. If you have a long discussion or something happens in the ball game where you have to kind of slow down the game, it can cause some trouble later on. As that one's going to get down there, and going down to third is going to be Jake Roberts as he gets down to third. Is Maple Mountain now with one out and a runner on at third. Tyson Ellis doesn't necessarily need a base hit to get that run home from third. Here's the pitch on its way. Ellis lifts this one into right field. Coming in, the right fielder, Chad Nelson. He'll make the catch. Acting like he's tagging is Roberts. The throw will be cut off. However, on the relay throw in and having to hold is Jake Roberts at third base. So now all fall into the hands of number 9, Justin Hartman, to get that game's first run across the board for Maple Mountain.
Now batting, the right fielder, number 9, Justin Hartman.
So Hartman, who played the bowl game yesterday, that one in there for a called strike. Had a pretty good bowl game for the Golden Eagles. No score, bottom of the first inning, 2 down, and the pitch on its way to Hartman misses off the plate with the fastball. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to count. Here's the pitch. Hartman rolls this one, a high chopper, but it will go foul over towards third, where Sam Roten is playing third. One ball and 2 strikes, the count on Hartman. Ready to go, the pitch on its way. That one checks the swing, didn't hold up. Evens the count up. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Justin Hartman. Maple Mountain and Desert Hills, semifinal number 2. Swung out and missed, strike 30, and Hartman down on strikes. Thorpe has his first strikeout of the ball game, and we've played one complete here from Desert Hills High School. No score, Maple Mountain and the Desert Hills Thunder. Semifinal number 2 on Spanish Fork 17.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
We get ready to start the top of the second inning here from Desert Hills High School in St. George, where Maple Mountain has an opportunity to get into the championship game. And right now they do have some work to do here in the early going, but really nonetheless, right now they've obviously with still some more innings to play and no score, but Jeff Seavey will go back to work here in the second inning. Had a really successful first. He'll get the middle part of the Desert Hills lineup. Chad Nelson, Drew Thorpe, and then Connor Bloomquist. At first baseman, as you see Chad Nelson, who was on the mound last night against Juan Diego, gave up a first leadoff home run in the top of the first inning, but then was able to go another about 4 innings or so for Desert Hills as the Thunder came from behind to get the win. The loser of this one will play at 5:45 and will get the Payson Lions. The winner will get Pleasant Grove in the 8 p.m. championship game. Pitch on its way home from Seavey is misses high for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Nelson Thorpe and Connor Bloomquist coming up. 4, 5, and 6 in the Desert Hills lineup. Seavey ready to go. Winds and delivers the 1-0 pitch. Misses high for ball two. 2 balls and no strikes. Everything's pretty much dried out from the rain showers that moved through here earlier this morning, right before the start of the ball game. Rained a lot during that early morning Payson Juan Diego game. Then now it's starting to dry out. The pitch on its way is by Nelson, hit up the middle, backhanded and bobbled by the second baseman, Dennison. So Nelson will reach with the leadoff single. And now it's going to bring up Drew Thorpe. So Thorpe has played middle of the infield most of this tournament, but it gets the start here. The left-handed hitting pitcher. He'll bat left, throws right for this Desert Hills team. Runner over at first base. Chad Nelson gets his lead. Pitch on its way is going to be swung on and fouled back, and it's 0-1. Desert Hills a couple of years ago was playing in that 3A state championship game. Very good team. Very competitive down here in St. George. The pitch on its way home is going to be hit by Thorpe. That one's into center field. Dawson Hall runs it down, has a chance to double him off, but the throw is going to be too strong as it's going to be able to get over the head, not over the head of Tyson Ellis, but pulls Ellis way off the bag for the first out of the inning. It would have had to have been a good throw from Dawson Hall to get the runner Chad Nelson, but he would have had a shot at him had the throw been put a little bit more on the money. And here's Connor Bloomquist, the first baseman. Bloomquist, wearing number 23, stands in. Lefty on lefty matchup. Desert Hills, a team that will bat quite a few lefties. First pitch in there on the inside corner. Missed inside for ball one. 1-0 the count. Double play depth up the middle for Roberts and Dennison. CV takes a look over at first, and now comes home, and the pitch, Bloomquist swings and misses. Evens the count up, 1 ball and 1 strike. The second of what would appear to be 4 games for you today here on Spanish Fork 17. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count, 1 gone, top second. Sorry, top of the second inning. The throw down to second to get the runner right on the money, but it comes out of the glove of Jake Roberts as he tried to apply the tag to Chad Nelson. And Nelson will get the stolen base. A bang-bang play. I think Maple Mountain had the runner, but applied the tag to a position in which Nelson had the momentum sliding into the bag, and sometimes when that happens, if it can knock the ball out of the glove. So now Desert Hills has a runner in scoring position with 1 gone here in the second. Bloomquist, an early RBI opportunity with the runner in scoring position. The 2-1 pitch swung out and missed, strike 2, and it evens the count up, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Connor Bloomquist. Outfield playing pretty straight away from Maple Mountain. Infield will play back. Tyler Boyack playing even with the bag at third. Pitch on its way. Bloomquist takes that one. It's going to miss low and inside, ball 3. Count runs full, 3-2 on Connor Bloomquist. A walk here doesn't kill you if you're Maple Mountain because it would allow the double play to be back in order. From the stretch, the pitch on its way. Bloomquist swings and misses. It gets past the catcher, and Bloomquist is going to be safe. Everybody's going to move up, and now runners on the corner. So the second, I guess what would be actually considered the third strikeout, but Bloomquist will reach. Nelson down to third, and an early opportunity here for Desert Hills to get a run back. Caden Goodman will come in to run over at first for Connor Bloomquist as the kind of the speed up runner. And I think Maple Mountain is going to quickly, the pitching coach is going to go out and have a quick word here with the starting pitcher. So following us, we'll have Juan Diego, Spanish Fork. Those two teams played yesterday morning at 9 a.m. here in St. George, and Spanish Fork beat them by the 10-run rule. And so it should be an interesting one to see how Juan Diego kind of comes back. They've played better baseball the last couple of days, coming from behind, or winning last night here against Desert Hills, and then they found a way to get it done. They found a way to get it done earlier today against the Payson Lions. So now the conference on the mound broken up by our home plate umpire. And Maple Mountain still in a good position. Double play ball, they can turn it, they can get out of the inning. So here's the catcher. It's going to be Mason Krieger. Krieger coming to the plate. Krieger's been behind the plate a lot here for Desert Hills in this weekend tournament. The pitch on its way. That one swung on, popped up, and that one will go foul. It'll be no balls and a strike. So that one hit just over on the softball field behind us here. You can retrieve the foul ball to the press box here, and you get some kind of a treat. The other morning we had some competitions between the kids to see who could get the most foul balls. Runner goes on, and there's the squeeze play. Seavey's going to go quickly to the plate. They didn't get him. Coming in to score on the play is going to be Nelson. It's 1-0 Desert Hills here in the second. And Krieger will get the RBI. And now here's Quinn Kaiser, the left fielder, and we'll have another runner coming in over at first. So Desert Hills really playing the speed-up game. Lanson Levine will come in to run over at first base. Now, so Levine over at first, runners on at first and second, one away. The pitch on its way, misses for ball one ball and no strikes. Quinn Kaiser, the left fielder, stands in for Desert Hills. Uniforms for the Thunder have D Hills across the chest. That's kind of what they wore last night's contest against Juan Diego, except they wore gray uniforms. They wore their kind of throwbacks you might remember on Thursday night, or maybe not throwbacks, but kind of an alternate black top with the kind of the T for Thunder across the chest Thursday night. That pitch going to be swung on and missed. First strike, and the count evens up 1-1. Trey Allred in the on-deck circle will hit if the inning continues for Desert Hills. Seavey working here from the stretch. Takes a look out at second. Here's the pickoff move, and they got him. No, they did not. And Maple Mountain wondering how, and head coach Gary Miner, I think, going to head out and have a quick conversation, because from everything, it looked like Caden Goodman was a sitting duck, and Jake Roberts, it appeared, got the tag down in time, and I think Gary Miner wants to go out and have a quick word here, get maybe an explanation as to what's going on. It's a short-lived conversation. And now Coach Miner will head it back over. 1-0 Desert Hills. That's one thing with the time limit in place. You have to think in 2 hours you would get through a good portion, 4, 5, 6 innings. But the one thing that can come into play is if you're the team that's losing, you want some quick innings to still have a shot to get through more of the game. Fouled straight back by Quinn Kaiser. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Reed here working from the stretch, takes a good look in. to Krager behind the plate. The 1-2 pitch on its way, swung on and missed. First base is occupied, so the runner is out on the swing, and that's the strikeout number 4 here for Jeff Seavey. So 2 gone. Here's Trey Allred, and Maple Mountain a chance to maybe get out of it with just allowing the 1 run here in the second inning. Allred getting the start here this afternoon at shortstop. And Seavey ready to go here. Runners on at first and second. As kind of looks like a bunt shown, kind of pulled it back at the last second for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Caden Goodman, the runner on at second for Desert Hills. Landon Levine, the runner over at first. Levine not being held on by Tyson Ellis. Runners get a big jump, and they're going to steal it uncontested. Getting a huge jump was Caden Goodman out at second base, and Goodman was able to easily able to get there. He got probably halfway between second and third base, as for the first time today we have the sun that has peeked through here at Desert Hills. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 gone here in the second. That pitch blocked in the dirt, ball 2, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trey Allred ready to stand in the batter's box, has a couple of his Thunder teammates out on the base pass here, swings and misses, and the count moves to 2-2. CV ready to go to work, takes a look in to Peterson behind the plate. And the pitch on its way, swung on and fouled away. Getting just enough contact there was Allred. And we'll have another 2-2 pitch coming. 1-0 in favor of Desert Hills. We're in the top of the second inning of the second semifinal here at the Landmark Insurance Invitational. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. It's going to skip away, so Mikey Peterson will have to throw to first, which he does to complete the strikeout. And the top of the second inning comes to an end. But the damage is done as Desert Hills comes away with 1 run on the 2 base hits, no errors, and then it's going to be 2 left on. End of 1.5. It's 1-0 Desert Hills leading your Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17 to thank our sponsors. We want to thank Lance Wilson State Farm, 2 Jack's Pizza, Mikkel Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law, Dickerson Automotive, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and our good friends the Car Guys. We thank them for making this broadcast and many others possible here. We also want to remind you to follow us on our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, as you can keep up with the latest shows, live broadcasts, and our SF17 staff. Just look for Spanish Fork 17. So we move to the bottom of the second inning. It will be Mikey Peterson, Caleb Peterson, and Dawson Hall coming up here for Maple Mountain, as they will get ready to go here against the right-handed pitcher, Drew Thorpe. Thorpe walked Jake Roberts in the first and then sent the Golden Eagles down in order 1-2-3. So here's Mikey Peterson to start it off. The wind again kind of continues to be breezy at times, as we've seen throughout this tournament. Haven't really had wind gusts, but just breezy. First pitch misses high with the fastball. It's 1-0 on Mikey Peterson. The sun coming out here, and the 1-0 pitch in there for, it looks like out, so maybe missed a little bit low and inside for a ball. It's 2 balls and no strikes here on Mikey Peterson. Here's the 2-0 pitch, high ball 3 balls and no strikes, and Drew Thorpe here having a hard time hitting the strike zone to start off this bottom of the second inning. The 3-0 pitch on its way. Thorpe delivers this one in there for a called strike, and the count goes to 3-1. Some patches of blue sky off in the left center field distance here. 3-1 pitch. Should see something good here, and it does. A fastball that's over the middle for a called strike. And it's 3-2 on Mikey Peterson. The 3-2 on its way. Peterson looks at a called strike 3. The second strikeout of the ball game for Thorpe. Back-to-back strikeouts, going back to striking out Justin Hartman to end the first inning. And here's Caden Peterson, the designated hitter. Caleb Peterson swings and misses at the first pitch, and it's 0-1. That one just kind of a breaking ball that looked good and then just dropped off the table. Ready to go. Thorpe kicks and delivers the 0-1. A fastball that misses up high, and the count evens up at 1-1. Thorpe winds, kicks, and delivers. Here's the 1-1 pitch right there on the inside corner. And it's 1-2 here on Caleb Peterson. Dawson Hall waits in the on-deck circle. The 1-2 on its way, checks his swing, and that's going to even the count up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Desert Hills 1, Maple Mountain 0, bottom of the second inning. Maple Mountain, the home team here. And the pitch on its way, swung on and missed, strike 3. 3 straight strikeouts for Thorpe. Back-to-back here in the inning, and here's Dawson Hall. Hall is getting the start in center today. Hall in yesterday's ball game against Pleasant Grove had a 1-for-4 night. Drops this one down the third baseline. Going to be a tough play. Roten with the throw, not in time. And Dawson Hall has the first Maple Mountain hit of the afternoon. A single, and now that's going to bring to the plate Tyler Boyack. So Hall just kind of challenging there Sam Roten to make a good throw on the money, and the speed there of Dawson Hall, he's able to beat it out. So here's Tyler Boyack. Boyack has seen some increased playing time here in the tournament. There's a called strike, and it's 0-1. Boyack 0-for-2 against Pleasant Grove yesterday. Pitch on its way. That's going to be in the dirt for a ball. The snap throw down to first, and they can't quite apply the tag in time on Dawson Hall. There was a bang-bang play in the Spanish Fork Pleasant Grove game there at first base. Same umpires, I believe, for this one we had for that ball game. Here's the 1-1. Ball 2 outside. Desert Hills keeping a very close watch on Dawson Hall over at first base to see if maybe he's going to try to take off if the pitch misses, or if, depending on what happens here, the 2-1 on its way. That one gets in there, breaking ball, and the count evens up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The right-hander Drew Thorpe a strike away from getting out of the inning unscathed. Snap throw over to first, and Bloomquist applies the tag late. So Hall is safe at first base. Two balls and 2 strikes to count. The pitch on its way. Boyack takes this one away. Ball 3. Count goes full on Tyler Boyack, so Dawson Hall can now move with the pitch. Colin Reed on deck if the inning would continue. 3-2 snap throw over to first. Diving back safely is Dawson Hall. Hall goes with the pitch. Boyack fouls it back to the screen, and we'll do it all over again here, 3-2. Drew Thorpe, 3 strikeouts for Desert Hills on the hill. Ready to go. Takes a look over at first. Hall takes off. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Make that 4 strikeouts for Drew Thorpe through 2. We've played 2 complete here at Desert Hills High School. Maple Mountain 0, Desert Hills 1. You're watching high school baseball on Spanish Fork 17.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Well, we go to the top of the third inning here in St. George, Utah. And right now, the Desert Hills Thunder have a 1-0 lead over Maple Mountain as Desert Hills tries to get into the championship game of the tournament which they are hosting. The third straight week Desert Hills has hosted a tournament. I'm sure a lot of long hours and a lot of hard work by the coaching staff and volunteers here to make these tournaments go. So it's been So here we go, start the top of the third inning. Top of the lineup coming up here for Desert Hills. And it's going to be Trey Wingett to lead it off. Wingett 0 for 1, went down on strikes back in his first at-bat to lead off the ball game. Wingett has had a pretty good tournament overall. Now he'll stand back in ready to go. Wingett will stand back in. Stevie ready to go to work, and the first pitch on its way. Inside, and it hits Trey Wingett, so the hit by pitch will put Wingett aboard to start everything, and now here comes the designated hitter, Seth Betts. Betts went down on strikes in his first plate appearance of the afternoon. And we'll see here what Desert Hills decides to do. There is an idea of maybe moving that runner over into scoring position. Runs could be at a premium, it would look like here early on. Ready to go. Here's the pitch on its way. Fastball misses high, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes the count on Seth Betts. Infield up the middle, double play depth with Dennison and Roberts for Maple Mountain. Seavey, the left-hander, working from the stretch. Takes a look over at first, and they'll throw over. Diving back safely is Trey Wingett. Betts an even stance in the batter's box as he comes set. Ready to go. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Misses away. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. So Maple Mountain right now, both teams kind of trying to find the strike zone with pitchers. Working from the stretch. CV comes ready. Boyack playing even with the grass at third in case there's a bunt. Pitch on its way. That one's in there. Called strike. And it's going to be 2 balls and a strike to count here on Jeff Seavey. Or sorry, here on Seth Betts. Betts wearing number 2 from the right side. Stands in ready to go. And the pitch on its way. Blocked in the dirt. Going down is Trey Wingett. He will get to second base on the kind of, not the wild pitch, but the kind of the pass ball. And now it's a 3-1 count on Seth Betts. So Betts in a very good hitter's count here, looking to try to see if he can maybe get the base hit and to bring home the game's second run for Desert Hills. 3-1 pitch. Runner gets a big jump there. The throw to Boyack is high, and Tyler Boyack leaps into the air and keeps that ball from going into left field. And so Betts will be there on at first base. They'll have runners on the corners with nobody out. And now here's Sam Roten Roten 0 for 1, grounded to second in his only at bat. And now again, some communication has to come here from Maple Mountain. We saw Desert Hills in the first inning in this situation try the squeeze play and get the first run of the ball game that way. But now you have to wonder if Seth Betts may not get the green light to try to steal, as Desert Hills has seemed to see something in the delivery of Jeff Seavey to like the idea of trying to take that extra base. Throws over to first, and back standing is Seth Betts, as Tyson Ellis tried to apply the quick swipe tag. Seavey working here with runners on the corners, nobody out. Top of the third inning, 1-0 Thunder of Desert Hills. Pitch on its way. That one's going to be grounded short. This could be two. Roberts to Dennison. Down to first in time for the 4-6-3 double play. That will get the RBI in, though, for Sam Roten, as Trey Wingett comes in to score. But you'll trade, I think, early on in the ball game anyway. You'll trade the out for the run. And with two gone, here's Chad Nelson. Nelson singled in the second and came around to score in that same inning. Started everything off for Desert Hills. Out pitch, bounced in the dirt for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. One ball and no strikes to count. The wind and the deliver on the way home. Swung out and missed. And the count evens up here at 1-1. Spanish Fork and Juan Diego to follow here. The 1-1 pitch right in there at the knees for a called strike two. That will be a rematch of a game yesterday morning here on SFCN. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Seavey kicks and delivers home. Breaking ball stays high, and the count evens up 2 balls and 2 strikes. The leg kick that Seavey has now isn't as worrisome now that you have no runners on base. A 2-2 pitch on its way. It bounces and gets to the backstop. It will go to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Seavey will get a new baseball, as we've been down here for the last couple of days and we've had a mixed bag of weather. Some rain on Thursday, nothing but sunshine yesterday, got a little sunburnt, and then mixed today of some rain mixed with some sun and some high clouds, and that one fouled away. It'd be 3 balls and 2 strikes. Today the sun is out for this ball game, the morning ball game between Spanish Fork and Pleasant Grove. It was pretty much cloudy the entire ball game. 3-2 pitch on its way home is going to miss ball 4, and Chad Nelson is walked. And here comes Drew Thorpe. So Thorpe 0 for 1, flew out to center field, his lone plate appearance of the ball game, and now once again just kind of the way we were in the second inning. In the second inning, when Thorpe was up with Chad Nelson at first, Thorpe flew out to center. Seavey ready to go, and the pitch on its way, misses for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Maple Mountain needing that final out here in the top of the third inning to get up in the bottom half and try to cut into this lead. Thorpe takes this one to left field, and that's going to fall for a base hit. Here's Nelson around second. He will hold. So Desert Hills has found a way there. Again, not the hardest hit ball by Drew Thorpe, but just a ball that gets out into left center field for a base hit. And here's Connor Bloomquist. Bloomquist struck out but reached on the wild pitch as the ball got behind Mikey Peterson, and Bloomquist was able to make it to first base. So first and second, 2 down here in the top of the third inning. And right there, runners move all over the place as Chad Nelson kind of bounced around between second and third. You kind of see Nelson out there running at second base. He'll just kind of act like he's going to go and not really like move too much there. They throw back and they almost got Nelson as Jake Roberts slid back behind him on one of the cut moves to one of the times when he kind of was bouncing a little bit back and forth, taking a step in both directions. Seavey takes a look. Roberts slaps the glove as he sneaks in behind him. Pitch on its way. That one's going to be bounced over towards first. Tyson Ellis will win the foot race to the bag, and the inning is over. But Desert Hills does add 1 run in the inning on the 1 hit, and they leave 1 on the base paths. It's 2-0 Thunder as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning here at Desert Hills High School. Let's take a moment to thank our sponsors here on Spanish Fork 17. We want to thank the Car Guys, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, MVP Sports, Dickerson Automotive, Mikael Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law, Two Jacks Pizza, and Lance Wilson State Farm. We thank them for making these broadcasts possible. We want to remind you also to follow our pages on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram to keep up with the latest shows, live broadcasts, and our SF17 staff. Just look for Spanish Fork 17. So Maple Mountain will bring up 9-1 and 2 here in the inning. It will be Colin Reed, Jake Roberts, and Tito Dennison, as the Golden Eagles will try to get some kind of offense going here as they trail 2-0. Maple Mountain's had some opportunities with runners on base, but just haven't been able to get much going so far against Drew Thorpe, who has pitched pretty lights out so far anyway, through at least the first time through. We'll see what adjustments Maple Mountain makes as they get ready to go for the second time through the order. As that wind picks up, probably one of the more stronger winds that we've seen blowing in. So here's Colin Reed to lead it off. Reed's first plate appearance of the afternoon for the Golden Eagles. Maple Mountain only able to find the 1 hit so far, the infield single by Dawson Hall. Reed swings first pitch and pops it up into shallow right field. Going out is Barbin. He'll get there to make the catch, and there's 1 away. So 1 out. Here's Jake Roberts back to the top of the Golden Eagle lineup. Roberts walked back in his first plate appearance, as he'll stand in here. Walked in the first and then got stranded over at third. The wind and the delivery on its way. Roberts swinging first pitch. Fouls it away. As it looks like that hit. What I can't figure out is whether it ended up on the Maple Mountain dugout, and I think that might have hit off our production truck. I'm not 100% sure. Whatever it was, the Desert Hills fans really liked it, and the bench really liked it. So, no balls and 2 strikes on Jake Roberts. Ready to go. Here's the 0-2 on its way. Roberts takes that one, moves the count to 1-2. I saw the pop-up here. I have a kind of a tent thing over the top of me, so I don't really worry too much about foul balls. There's a call, 3rd strike. Jake Roberts down. That's strikeout number 5 for Drew Thorpe. And now with 2 down, here's Tito Dennison. Dennison grounded back to the pitcher in his first at-bat back in the first inning. Dennison ready to go, and Thorpe kicks and delivers. And Dennison swings first pitch and hits this one high into center field. Coming in, reaching up and making the catch is Trey Wingett, and the 3rd inning comes to an end. We've played 3 here from Desert Hills High School. It's the Thunder 2, Maple Mountain 0. You're watching high school baseball on Spanish Fork Community Network.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
in Spanish Fork. See your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Well, we head to the top of the 4th inning, a quick-moving ball game so far here at Desert Hills High School with the 2-hour time limits that are placed on every game today outside of the championship game, which will be an 8 p.m. first pitch. We all have to go a little bit quicker with pace today than maybe you would normally see, as it will be Mason Krager to stand and lead it off. Krager, Kaiser, and Allred, 7, 8, 9 coming up here against Jeff Seavey, and it'd be nice to see if Seavey can have maybe a quick 1-2-3 inning and get his lineup back up in the bottom of the 4th inning. First pitch to Krager is going to be hit down the right field line, a long run, but I believe it's going to go foul as Hartman gave it a look, but it's foul over towards that bullpen. 330 down the right field line. As right now, the question is going to be who will Maple Mountain play later tonight. That's in there at the knees for a called strike, 0-2. A win, and they get the 8 p.m. championship game against the Pleasant Grove Vikings. A loss, and they will get ready to play Payson at 5:45. Here's the 0-2 pitch, the kick and the delivery on its way. Fastball misses high, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Maple Mountain beating both of those teams yesterday. Here's the 1-2 pitch, the kick and the delivery on its way, bounced in the dirt, ball 2. The count will even up 2 balls and 2 strikes on Krager. Krager 1 for 1, had an RBI single in the second that brought home Chad Nelson. That gave Desert Hills the early 1-0 lead. Here's the 2-2 pitch on its way home. That one's smoked right to third. Boyack with the nice stab. The throw across the diamond in time. That ball was a quick, just one hopper that Tyler Boyack was able to quickly stab with the glove and throw him out at first for the first out of the inning. And now that brings up left fielder Quinn Kaiser. Kaiser 0 for 1, went down on a strikeout back in the second inning. So Kaiser pitching well. Seavey here working from the windup. The kick and the delivery on its way. That one's going to be in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. The left-hander going back to work. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's going to be swung out, popped up. And that one will be fouled away, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count on Quinn Kaiser. Seavey looking to try to finish him off here with 1 pitch. The 0-2 on its way. The kick and the delivery is going to be grounded through the right side past the diving Tyson Ellis into right field for a base hit. So Quinn Kaiser aboard here in the top of the 4th inning with the single to right. And now here comes Trey Allred. Allred down on strikes back in the second inning. Will stand in here 0 for 1 today with 1 out in the the top of the 4th inning. Having the home team Desert Hills wear white uniforms kind of throw me for a little bit of a loop here. Pitch on its way, misses low for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes to count. Infield double play depth up the middle with Jake Roberts and Tito Dennison. Maple Mountain would really like to see if they can turn 2. Seavey working from the stretch, takes a look over at first. And will throw over, and back standing is Quinn Kaiser. Trey Wingett in the on-deck circle for Desert Hills, the leadoff hitter. Seavey ready to go. Here's the 1-0. That one's going to be fouled away. And the count evens up at 1-1. 2-0 Thunder, top of the 4th inning. The mascot here, They're called the Thunder. The mascot is Thor. Here at Desert Hills High School. Similar to Westlake High School up in Utah County outside of Lehigh. That one's in there for a called strike, and it's 1-2 here on Trey Allred. Maple Mountain in the maroon tops and white pants that say Eagles across the chest. Desert Hills in the home whites that say D Hills. That one swung on and missed. They're going to throw down to first, and they're going to nail him. They'll strike him out, throw him out, double play. So Allred goes down for the 5th strikeout of the ballgame for Seavey, and then Quinn Kaiser is caught off the bag, and Mikey Peterson fires down at Tyson Ellis, and the inning's over. We're going to head to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Desert Hills High School. Maple Mountain with some work to do with the middle part of their lineup coming up, but a heads-up play by Mikey Peterson to fire down to first in order to get the out. Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17. Let's thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We have 2 Jack's Pizza, The Car Guys, Dickerson Automotive, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, MVP Sports, Lance Wilson State Farm, and Mikkel Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law. I thank them for making everything for these broadcasts possible. We also want to remind you to follow our pages on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube to keep up with the latest shows, live broadcasts, and other broadcasts and notes. Just follow us on those pages, and also our SF17 staff. So the middle part of the lineup for Maple Mountain coming up here against Drew Thorpe, who so far has held the Maple Mountain bats in check through 3 innings. It's the middle part, Tyson Ellis, Justin Hartman, and Mikey Peterson coming up here for the Golden Eagles, as the right-hander Drew Thorpe ready to go on the mound, and his first pitch to Tyson Ellis is going to be taken low for ball 1 ball and no strikes. Ellis 0 for 1, flew out to Chad Nelson and right back in his first at-bat. The 1-0 pitch is fouled straight back, and the count evens up here at 1-1. Thorpe kicks and delivers. That fastball misses high. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Keeping an eye on the time here. We have about an hour and 4 minutes or so, give or take. And Ellis grounds this one down the third baseline, past the diving Sam Roten. Ellis takes the turnaround first, digging for 2, and Quinn Kaiser's throw will be cut off, as that will hold Tyson Ellis with a leadoff single in the 4th inning. Just the second Maple Mountain hit of the afternoon off the right-hander Drew Thorpe. And now that brings up right fielder Justin Hartman. Hartman went down on strikes in his first at-bat back in the 1st inning. Some darker clouds beginning to kind of loom out towards center field. First pitch on its way, and Hartman fouls this one back to the screen. It'll be no balls and a strike on Justin Hartman. Maple Mountain having a pretty good offensive showing yesterday in their ball games. And now Hartman having a quick word with his third base coach will stand back in the batter's box. Running over at first base is going to be Tyson Ellis. The pitch on its way, and Hartman pulls the butt back for a ball, and the count evens up here at 1-1. Looking at my phone, there's not a ton of opportunities for some rain. Most of it really has moved to the north, but they are saying a slight chance of some rain here as the afternoon goes on. Thorpe ready to go from the stretch, and the delivery on its way. Hartman fouls that one back, and it's going to be 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here on Justin Hartman. Ellis will get his lead over at first. The pitch on its way. Breaking ball sits high for a ball, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Hartman. Outfield pretty much straight away here for Desert Hills. The pitch on its way. Hartman fouls this one off of his kind of ankle. It rolled fair initially and then goes. It was, of course, a foul ball. Drew Thorpe, the right-hander. Second time through the lineup, it's always interesting to see if teams make adjustments or start going after a pitcher a little bit different way. It's that first time through, and a lot of these guys, you don't really see a whole lot it's not like they have a ton of the scouting reports that you have. And there's a called strike 3 on the inside corner. Strikeout number 6 on the afternoon for Drew Thorpe. You don't have the scouting reports that you have at some levels of high school, of college baseball and the professionals. So some of it you have to kind of figure out as you go. Here's Mikey Peterson, the catcher. Peterson 0 for 1, went down looking back in the second inning. Pitch on its way. Peterson fouls it back to the screen. It's no balls and a strike. One gone, bottom of the fourth inning, 2-0 Desert Hills, the home team, leading this one. Ellis ready to go at first. The pitch on its way. He's going to get to the backstop. And Tyson Ellis quickly and alertly heading into second base. He'll move up right there. And now an RBI opportunity for Maple Mountain here, as these are the opportunities that you have to try to find a way to see if you can come through to kind of really open up the ball game. Working from the stretch. Here's the pitch on its way. That one's going to be bounced to third. Roten knocked it down, kept it in front of him. He's going to have to make a good throw, and does, just in the nick of time to get Mikey Peterson on the ground out. And there's 2 outs here in the fourth inning. So here's Caleb Peterson now, the first baseman. 0 for 1. The DH. Peterson, the designated hitter today for Maple Mountain. 0 for 1, went down on strikes, as it looks like head coach Chris Allred out to check right here on third baseman Sam Roten. Make sure he's okay. It's kind of a tough play that Roten was able to knock the ball down and make a good throw. So now it looks like Sam Roten's going to be okay. Caleb Peterson will get ready to stand in the batter's box. And the right-handed pitcher, Drew Thorpe, an out away from getting out of the leadoff walk by Tyson Ellis. That pitch misses low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to count on Caleb Peterson. Running on at second, Tyson Ellis. Go Mountain trying to get that first run of the ball game. That pitch blocked in the dirt. A good stop by Krager. The count evens up, or it looks like the count moves to 2-0. Dawson Hall, 1 for 1 with a base hit in the on-deck circle. Here's the pickoff move. The throw almost gets into center field, as Barbin, the second baseman, had to dive across to make sure he kept that ball in front of him. The timing just wasn't there between Drew Thorpe and Bo Barbin, and that one getting across here. Drew Thorpe is generally the shortstop for Desert Hills, and so I think maybe you're having to kind of shuffle some of the infield around. Breaking ball gets in there for a called strike, and it's 2-1 here on Caleb Peterson. So you have to get Barbin used to, timing Drew Thorpe and how quickly he throws. You move the second baseman, Trey Allred, from second over to short. The 2-1 pitch on its way. High ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. The count here on Caleb Peterson. Dawson Hall in the on-deck circle. But Peterson right now should see a pretty good pitch here, 3-1. Looks like Mason Krager wants to go out and have a quick conversation. Just want to remind everybody, following this ball game, we have another one for you here on Spanish Fork Community Network. The Spanish Fork Dons back in action after their semifinal loss to Pleasant Grove. They'll get the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle game, a rematch from a game on Friday where Spanish Fork beat Juan Diego by the run rule, but watch out for Juan Diego. They've played tough these last couple of days. Pitch is going to break low, ball 4, and so Caleb Peterson draws himself a 2-out walk, and here comes Dawson Hall. Hall with an opportunity to try to see here if he can get Maple Mountain their first run of the ball game, as Hall's 1 for 1 with a base hit. That base hit, however, was kind of an infield single. He just kind of was able to outrun the throw from Sam Roten over at third base. That would work for a base hit here, but he'd like maybe something in the gap or something to bring home a run. And Hall takes the first pitch for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Tyson Ellis running on at second base. It's Caleb Peterson over at first for Maple Mountain. 1 ball, no strike to count. 2-0 Desert Hills, bottom of the 4th inning. Drew Thorpe working here from the stretch. Trying to work through. The first time he's really been, this is the first time Maple Mountain's really put a threat against Drew Thorpe today. Thorpe has done a pretty good job of staying out of trouble for the most part. 1 ball, no strikes to count. The pitch on its way. Hall takes the fastball away for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to count here on Dawson Hall. Thorpe, however, here in the 4th has seemed to kind of lose some of his control and some of his velocity that he had going earlier in the ball game. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Hall swings, hits this one to right, and it's going to be caught, and the inning is over. Maple Mountain gets a couple of runners on base, however. Tyson Ellis and Caleb Peterson get stranded. We've played 4 here from Desert Hills High School. Thunder 2, Golden Eagles 0. You're watching high school baseball on Spanish 417.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
We head right now to the top of the 5th inning, 2-0 in favor of Desert Hills. As right now we get ready to continue on in this one. We get into the late innings of high school baseball. 7-inning contest. These games, though, being played with a 2-hour time limit right now. Just under an hour left. So, again, nothing would make me think right now that we couldn't get the full 7 in today, as we see a good contingent right there of fans have made the trip from Spanish Fork and Desert Hills, of course. This being their home ballpark, they should have a very good contingent of fans here for a Saturday afternoon contest. So it's looks like the top of the lineup, 1, 2, and 3, Trey Wingett, Seth Betts, and Sam Roten coming up here in the 5th inning for Desert Hills. Trey Wingett struck out, was hit by a pitch, came around to score 1 run back in the 3rd inning. So Wingett ready to go, and we're set and ready to play some baseball here in the 5th. The pitch on its way is going to be swung on and lifted down the line and foul. A long run, giving it a good effort. Justin Hartman almost came up with it, and it's no balls and a strike. Give him an A for effort. Unfortunately, effort doesn't always equate to an out. No balls and a strike here on Trey Wingett. Seavey working here from the pitcher's mound for Maple Mountain. Infield will play back. The 0-1 pitch, the wind and the delivery on its way. Checked his swing, didn't go, and the count evens up here. 1 ball, 1 strike. We are in the top of the 5th inning. The scoreboard here, I don't think they haven't changed the inning quite yet. The 1-1 pitch on its way is going to be in there for a called strike, and the count moves to 1-2 on Trey Wingett. As they start the 3rd time through the Desert Hills lineup, we'll see what Desert Hills tries to do. Here's the 1-2 pitch on its way to Wingett. That one swung out and missed, strike 3. So Seavey has strikeout number 6 on the afternoon. And with 1 gone, here's Seth Betts. Betts struck out in the 1st and walked in the 3rd inning as Wingett makes the long walk back to the dugout. As you see there, I think not overly thrilled with that strikeout was Trey Wingett. Here's Seth Betts, ready to go. The first pitch on its way is low ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to count here on Seth Betts. One away, top of the 5th inning. And ready to go. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that one's in there for a called strike. And it evens up the count here, 1 ball and 1 strike. Seavey, the left-hander, working here, and he winds and kicks and delivers. And that one's right back up the middle. Going to be a tough play. Getting there, Dennison off to make a quick throw, and he does. Not in time. They're going to say a bang, bang play at first, and a very close call that looks like this time is going to favor Desert Hills. It was going to be a tough play because it was hit up the middle towards behind the bag, and Tito Dennison had made a good throw, but Seth Betts runs well, and he just gets thrown out by maybe, he was safe by maybe a half a second. I mean, it was a very bang-bang play. Here's Sam Roten. He swings and misses at the first pitch, 0-1. Roten took that ball last inning. It just kind of came up, kept the ball in front of him, but I think it might have came up and hit him in the chin or the shoulder blade. His head coach, Chris Allred, came out to check on him. The 0-1 pitch on its way. That one blocked in the dirt. And Mikey Peterson kept it in front of him. The count evens up here at 1-1. Peterson has shown his arm to the Desert Hills Thunder today that I think will maybe make them think twice before next time wanting to try to run on him or getting too far off first base. Here's the 1-1 pitch on its way. Roten pops it up. And that one will go foul, and it's 1-2. Maple Mountains played some very good competitive ball games in this tournament, winning, of course, two not really close one-run ball games or anything, but close ball games yesterday to Pleasant Grove and also to Payson. That one fouled away, and we'll have a 1-2 pitch. We'll come over again. Sam Roten has grounded out to second and then grounded into a 4-3 double play. 1 ball and 2 strikes here with 1 gone. Looking to try to see here what they can do. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that one's going to be bounced to second. This could be 2 again. Dennison waits for it, gives it, and his turn is not going to be in time on the 4-6-3 as Sam Roten will beat it out. So 2 outs as Betts is retired. And Dennison there waited for the ball. I think he might have had a play on it had he charged it and then kind of flipped it back to Jake Roberts covering the bag. Either way, it would have been a tough play just because the ball wasn't an overly hit ground ball. So here's Chad Nelson. Nelson 1 for 1 with a single and also a walk. First pitch, breaking ball that misses for a ball. 1 ball and no strike to count on Chad Nelson. Drew Thorpe in the on-deck circle, the pitcher for Desert Hills to follow. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Seavey comes in. That one fouled away by Nelson, and the count evens up here, 1 ball and 1 strike. It's 2-0 Desert Hills, top of the 5th inning, 2 gone. The Thunder right now playing on their home field in their tournament in the semifinals after beating Juan Diego last night. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Here's Seavey, who will come home. Breaking ball in there with the called strike. And it's 1-2 the count on Chad Nelson. A pair of lefties to follow in Thorpe and then Connor Bloomquist. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. The pitch on its way is going to be lined right to Tyler Boyack, who gloves it, and the top of the 5th inning comes to an end. So a nice job by Tyler Boyack, right place at the right time. Desert Hills gets 1 hit in the inning, and they leave 1. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 2-0 Thunder. Maple Mountain needs to find a way to generate some offense. Boyack, Reed, and Jake Roberts coming up here as we get ready to go here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Let's take a moment here to thank our sponsors on Spanish Fork 17. We got Lance Wilson State Farm, 2 Jacks Pizza, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikel Chris Jansen and Wise Attorneys at Law, Dickerson Automotive, and the Car Guys. We thank them for making this broadcast possible. We also want to remind you to follow our social media pages on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram To keep up with the latest shows, live broadcast, and our SF17 staff, just look for Spanish Fork 17. So bottom of the inning here, it looks like Coach Gary Miner's out and potentially making some changes for Maple Mountain or going over something with our home plate umpires. It's scheduled to be Tyler Boyack, Colin Reed, and Jake Roberts as Maple Mountain hits here in the bottom of the 5th inning, needing to get some offense going. They've been held in check pretty good by Drew Thorpe, but the last inning maybe is a good sign of hope if you're the Golden Eagles, where you started to get some couple of hitters on base. So Tyler Boyack will stride to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout in this afternoon's ball game. So Boyack will stand in to lead it off here. It's going to be Sam Roten who's playing back a step or two, so we'll see if maybe Tyler Boyack doesn't consider maybe trying to drop down the bunt down the third baseline. Pitch on its way. Boyack takes the first pitch. Low for a ball. Ball one. 1 ball and no strikes to count on Tyler Boyack. Dark clouds beginning to continue to loom in the distance. The 1-0 pitch on its way, and that one low, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. The count on Boyack. Thorpe ready to go again. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that one's right back to Thorpe. And he'll throw over to first in time. There's 1 away. So 1 gone. Here's left fielder Colin Reed. Reed 0 for 1, popped out to the second baseman, Bo Barbin, in his only other at-bat of the afternoon. Colin Reed, ready to go in the batter's box here. Jake Roberts to follow for the Golden Eagles. Thorpe kicks and delivers that one in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Maple Mountain looking to try to see if they have a late inning rally in them. Pitch on its way in there for a call, or looks like he missed outside for a ball, and the count evens up at 1-1. Here's the 1-1, the wind and the delivery on its way. Misses ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to Colin Reed. That one looked just to be a hair low and inside. Thorpe ready with, here's the 2-1 on its way, and Reed swings, hits that one pretty well out to deep left center field, but going back and running it down is the center fielder Trey Wingett, and there's 2 away. So Reed hit that one well, got the good part of the wood on the bat, or I guess the aluminum, since it's a aluminum bat, but just couldn't quite get it all right there. Maybe hit it too well in the air for Wingett to run it down. So 2 down. Here's Jake Roberts. First pitch on its way. Roberts takes that one on the inside corner for a called strike. And it's 0-1. Bottom of the 5th inning, 2-0 Desert Hills. And the 0-1 pitch on its way misses for a ball, and the count evens up here at 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch bounces in the dirt. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. The count here on Jake Roberts. Roberts with a walk back in the first and a strikeout in the third. The 2-1 pitch on its way. Roberts takes that one, a slow breaking ball that breaks back on the outside part of the plate. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to count here on Jake Roberts. The 2-2 pitch on its way misses ball 3. Count runs full 3-2. 3-2 pitch, the kick and the delivery on its way. And Roberts swings late and misses. Strike 3. That is strikeout number 7 for Drew Thorpe. Well, we've played 5 complete here from Desert Hills High School. We head to the 6th. Thunder 2, Golden Eagles 0. You're watching high school baseball on Spanish Fork 17.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In in Spanish Fork. See your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Well, we head to the top of the 6th inning here at Desert Hills High School, and right now the Thunder lead this one 2-0 as we play here in the top of the 6th inning. The Spanish Fork Dons, you can see them right now. They are down the third baseline. They're getting ready for their final game where they will get Juan Diego in another matchup for the Dons. Spanish Fork taking care of business against Juan Diego the other day. That one coming up next here on Spanish Fork 17. And here comes Drew Thorpe to lead it off. It's going to be Thorpe, Bloomquist, and Krager, 5, 6, and 7 for Desert Hills. And the first pitch to Thorpe is going to be swung out, popped up. Going out is Jake Roberts. Coming in is Colin Reed. It will be Roberts going out who makes the catch. So one away. Here's Connor Bloomquist. Bloomquist reached on a strikeout on the wild pitch and then grounded out to first base. Blomquist, I guess, is what I'm being told it is. So Blomquist standing in, and he'll get the first pitch here. This is couple of these lefty versus lefty matchups, and that one in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Maple Mountain will have some work to do in the bottom half of the inning. Dennison, Ellis, and Hartman, 2, 3, and 4 coming up. 0-1 pitch. That one's going to be grounded right to Jake Roberts. He'll field it cleanly. The throw is high and off the glove of Tyson Ellis. Blomquist will hold it first, and the throwing error will allow Blomquist to reach. Roberts just airmailed the throw, and Tyson Ellis did everything he could to try to come down with it, but it just went right off his glove, and now here comes Mason Krager. Krager 1 for 2, had a single back in the second, and now we'll have a runner come in. I believe that's going to be Caden Goodwin.
Entering the game, number 9, Bronson Andrus.
And it's Bronson Andrus this time running for Blomquist. So Bronson Andrus will come in to run over at first base. And here's Mason Krager. Krager a single on the second, a ground out to Tyler Boyack in the fourth. The left-hander, Jeff Seavey, will work here from the stretch. That wind beginning to kind of blow throughout as some darker rain-looking clouds begin to move over St. George right now. Ready to go. Here's the pitch. Seavey on the way home. In there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. So with one gone, still in a nice position to see if you can turn a double play and get out of the inning. The biggest thing right now is you want to continue, if you're Maple Mountain, to put zeros up on the scoreboard. The 0-1 pitch misses away, and the count evens up at 1-1. When I say that, I mean from a defensive standpoint. The offense, you definitely want to hopefully put a lopsided number up in the bottom of the 6th inning. Try to take the lead. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Seavey takes a look over at first. He'll throw over and back as they apply the tag to Andrus. He's back standing and maybe a little bit closer than you'd like if you're Desert Hills. That one was put right on the money. 1 ball and 1 strike the count, working from the stretch, and they'll throw over again. And you have to be kind of careful there because Seavey almost starts his motion home before he throws to third, and you can throw the pickoff move to first or any other base, but you can't make begin the motion home. That one high for a ball, 2 balls and a strike, and some of the Desert Hills faithful definitely wanting the balk call there, and it was close. I mean, Seavey, I think, just kind of lost the motion as to think he had a late decision where he was going to throw that one, and that one over for a swing and a miss for strike 2. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Mason Krager. Seavey has 6 strikeouts through 5 for Maple Mountain. It's really been a defensive pitcher's battle between these two teams. The throw over, diving back safely is going to be Bronson Andrus. The winner of this one plays Pleasant Grove at 8 o'clock in the championship. The loser will play at 5:45. They'll come back and play, and they will play against the Payson Lions. The 2-2 pitch. That one's hit out to left field. It's going to hang, though, for the left fielder, Colin Reed. And there's 2 outs. Nice job. That ball hit right to Reed. Reed got a good jump on it. And so 2 gone. Here's Quinn Kaiser. Kaiser went down on strikes in the second, singled in the fourth. So Kaiser will stand in here from the right side of the plate. 2 gone here in the top of the 6th inning. Desert Hills, the visiting team. That pitch in there for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Maple Mountain, the home team today. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Seavey from the stretch will kick and come home. That ball misses high. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. The count on Quinn Kaiser. If Kaiser finds a way to reach, it will be Trey Allred, who's got 2 strikeouts on the day. Tyson Ellis holding the runner on. That ball misses low, ball 3. It's 3 balls and no strikes. The count here on Quinn Kaiser. Seavey here will go to work from the stretch. Takes a long look in, looks over at first to Tyson Ellis. Pitch on its way is in there for a called strike, as taking all the way there was Quinn Kaiser. It's now 3 balls and a strike. So Kaiser should get something good to hit here. Generally 3-1's a fastball count. And the pitch on its way. Kaiser fouls this one back to this. It looks like they're going to say he swung and missed. Gets back to the screen and going down to second base is going to be Bronson Andrus. So Andrus now in scoring position for Desert Hills here with 2 down. And the count's now full. Seavey working from the stretch. Takes a look at Andrus at second base. The pitch on its way. Swung on, and they're going to say fouled away. Quinn Kaiser going to get just enough there to make contact and foul it off. 3-2 the count on the 8-hole hitter, Quinn Kaiser. Pickoff move, diving back to the second base bag is Bronson Andrus. 2, 3, and 4 coming up for Maple Mountain in the bottom of the inning. Dennison, Ellis, and Hartman. Here's the 1-2 on its way, low, ball 4. So drawing the free pass is Quinn Kaiser. So now Desert Hills, a couple of runners on base for Trey Allred. And I wonder here, we might have a pinch hitter for Allred. So Alex Eakin will come in. He will hit here for Trey Allred. So Eakins, who was 0 for 2, will stand in here. He's got the start against Spanish Fork in the opening game of this tournament on Thursday night. The game Spanish Fork held on to win 5-4. Desert Hills was very close to actually finishing first in that pool, and that went in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. It had not been for overrunning the bag and Spanish Fork and being able to get the ball to second to apply the tag. A bang-bang play that ended up winning the Dons the game 5-4. No balls and a strike to count here on Alex Eakins, and now you have Mikey Peterson, who will go out and have a quick word with his pitcher. 2 down here, top of the 6th inning, and the semifinal of the Landmark Insurance Invitational here at Desert Hills High School. Winner of this one plays at 8 p.m. against the Pleasant Grove Vikings for the tournament championship. The loser of this one will play at 5:45 and get the Payson Lions out of Region 8. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That ball by Eakins hit and gloved by Dennison going up the middle. He reached up and found the baseball. And the top of the 6th inning comes to an end right there. A big play by Tito Dennison right there to end the inning. And we head to the bottom of the 6th inning here at Desert Hills. No runs. That's an important thing there for Maple Mountain, because right there not are able to get out of the inning without allowing a run. Keeps it a 2-0 game as you still try to figure out the right-hander Drew Thorpe. Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17. Let's thank our sponsors who continually help to make these broadcasts possible. We've got MVP Sports, Two Jacks Pizza, Dickerson Automotive, The Car Guys, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikhail Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law, and Lance Wilson State Farm for making these broadcasts and our many others possible. And to stay tuned with our broadcast, you can watch live on YouTube at youtube.com/SpanishFork17, including getting some live replay, or not live replays, but replays of ball games. Also on our Facebook page and YouTube page to keep up with the latest shows, live broadcasts, and our SF17 staff. Just look for Spanish Fork 17. So bottom of the 6th inning, a big inning here for Maple Mountain as Tito Dennison, Tyson Ellis, and Justin Hartman, 2, 3, and 4, are coming up. And this group is 1 for 6 today. Dennison himself 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out to center field. And Thorpe delivers the first pitch inside and tight for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. The count here on Tito Dennison. Bottom of the 6th inning. The pitch on its way in the dirt for a ball. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Still have around 30 minutes or so for the 2-hour time limit, so plenty of time here for this one. Pitch on its way. Dennison takes a called strike over the middle. It's 3-1 on Tito Dennison. Drew Thorpe, however, working pretty quick. Here's the 3-1 pitch on its way. Dennison swings and fouls that one away right out in front of home plate, and the count runs full 3-2. Spanish Fork down, hitting in the cages, getting ready for their game, which will follow ours against Juan Diego, against the Soaring Eagle. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count, ready to go. The pitch on its way home, and that one just missed inside, and I believe now the count goes to full 3-2. Maple Mountain looking for an early base runner here. Thorpe comes in. That one fouled straight back to the screen. We'll have another pitch coming here in a moment. Drew Thorpe has been tough today on Maple Mountain. 6 strikeouts right now through 5 innings. Pitch on its way. Misses ball 4, and the leadoff man on for Maple Mountain here in the 6th as Tito Dennison draws a free pass. And now that's going to bring up Tyson Ellis. Ellis 1 for 2, including a single and his last at bat back in the 4th inning that just got right down the line past Sam Roten at third base, and a heads-up play by Kaiser in left field to quickly get to the baseball to hold Dennison to a single. Pitch on its way, and Ellis takes that one for a called strike, and it's 0-1 on Tyson Ellis. Maple Mountain trailing 2-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Thorpe here from the stretch takes a look in, snaps the throw over, and Andrus tries to apply the tag as Andrus has come in to replace Blomquist at first. No balls and a strike. The pitch on its way, and Ellis fouls this one back to the screen. It's quickly no balls and 2 strikes on Tyson Ellis. Outfield playing a little bit more, kind of straight up. Lots of room down that left field line. And now Kaiser will take about 8 to 10 steps to his left. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Ellis able to hold up on the pitch, and the count will move to 1-2. Justin Hartman on deck for Maple Mountain. Running over at first is Tito Dennison, who got on with the walk. Here's the 1-2 pitch on its way to Tyson Ellis. He again holds up on the high fastball, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. One thing you'll see is you might see a low breaking ball come here to try to change the eye level. There's the low breaking ball, low and away ball 3, and the count runs full on Tyson Ellis, 3-2. So they change the eye level there, but it doesn't fool Tyson Ellis. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch on its way. Called strike 3. And Tyson Ellis will head back to the bench as that one looked right on the corner. Maybe a little bit, maybe caught the knee on the corner of the plate, but a very close strike 3 call right on the corner, and there's 1 away. So 1 gone. Here's Justin Hartman. Hartman with a pair of strikeouts in the ball game. 1 swinging and 1 looking back in the 4th. Thorpe comes in, first pitch. Hartman grounds this one to third. Roten up with it. His throw to second is not in time. It's going to pull the runner. It pulled the second baseman Barvin's foot off the bag, and everybody's safe for Maple Mountain. So here's Mikey Peterson now. Runners on, or 0 for 2 Mikey Peterson with the runners on at first and second, and now Chris Allred going to go have a conversation with the base umpire. Because what it looked like is the throw beat him, but what it looked like happened was they're saying that Bo Barvin's foot was not on the bag when the throw came in. They're going to say it looks like that it pulled him. So quick conversation, and Chris Allred, well, it looks like we'll start to head back to the dugout. So a brief explanation right there. And now the leading run for Maple Mountain at the plate here of Mikey Peterson. Peterson struck out in the second, grounded out in the 4th. Drew Thorpe in a little bit of trouble here, as now everybody who had came in even from the outfield now retreats here for Desert Hills. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Thorpe kicks and delivers, comes in. That one's in there for a called strike at the knees. It's 0-1 on Mikey Peterson. Maple Mountain, you're just kind of wondering who can come up with that big hit for the Golden Eagles. Good speed on the base paths in Dennison and Hartman. The 0-1 pitch on its way. That one's going to be bounced to third. It's going to be a tough play. Roten goes to second for 1. The relay turn to first in time, and they got him. They're going to say the 5-4-3 double play is recorded, and the inning is over. We're going to head to the 7th here in St. George. It's Desert Hills 2, Maple Mountain 0. You're watching high school baseball on Spanish Fork 17.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Well, we move to the top of the 7th inning here at Desert Hills High School, where Maple Mountain really now needs to put up a 0 in the 7th and try to get the bats going in the bottom half of the inning. It's kind of a spoiled opportunity, so to speak, for the Golden Eagles in the bottom of the inning. They had a couple of runners on, a chance to try to get a runner, at least one in, to try to cut the deficit, and a couple of close calls that this time went in the favor of the Desert Hills Thunder kind of changed some of those plans. And a 2-0 lead right now for Desert Hills, as Jeff Seavey will go back out to start the 7th inning. Top of the lineup for Desert Hills, Trey Wingett, Seth Betts, and Sam Roten coming up, where Maple Mountain will look to try to get the 3 outs quickly and get up in the 7th and try to do something similar to what Spanish Fork did earlier. The Dons came up 1 run shy in our first contest of the day, and Spanish Fork got a 3-run homer in the 7th inning to cut the lead to 4-3, but then just couldn't get that final run across. So here comes Trey Wingate, who will step to the plate. Wingate struck out, got hit by a pitch, and then struck out again in the 5th inning. Wingate on that last one, when he went down, wasn't very happy with chasing the breaking ball outside of the strike zone. So Wingate will stand in to lead it off here for the Desert Hills Thunder. He has one of the 2 runs scored for Desert Hills. Seavey kicks and delivers the pitch on its way in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Seth Betts, the designated hitter, would be up next, and then Sam Roten. Seavey ready to go, and the 0-1 wind and the delivery on its way. Breaking ball in there for a called strike, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes here on Trey Wingate. Wingate will get the started in center field most of the series here for Desert Hills. Here's the 0-2 pitch on its way. Breaking ball comes inside and hits Wingate, and he will go to first base. And the hard part that you don't like about him getting hit by a pitch when he did was instead of, you were up in the count with 2 strikes on the hitter. Now here's Seth Betts. Betts struck out, has walked, and has had a single back in the 5th inning. For Desert Hills, the Thunder trying to get into that 8 p.m. championship game against Pleasant Grove. Working from the stretch, fastball, high ball, 1 ball and no strikes the count here on Seth Betts. Spanish Fork and Juan Diego coming up at 3:30 is the scheduled first pitch. So right now, that one will probably be delayed, probably closer, I would think, till 4. And that one, here's the snap throw down to second, not going to be in time as Wingate got underneath the tag. And Desert Hills now, with nobody out, has an insurance run sitting in scoring position. So Seavey really needed to try to get that second out right here. Betts, the designated hitter. So right now, as they're wanting to appeal to that base umpire to see right here, and right now they're trying to see here what happens. And both head coach Gary Miner and one of the Maple Mountain assistants saying something to the home plate umpire. And right now, the umpire not even really willing to have a conversation about it. Here's the pitch. Betts swings through it. It's no balls and a strike on Seth Betts. Betts struck out, walked, and singled today for Desert Hills. The Thunder wearing the home white uniforms, Maple Mountain in the maroon tops and white pants. Golden Eagles trying to get a rally going to advance that 8 p.m. championship game. Here's the pitch, runner goes, and the throw won't even be made as Wingate dives head first into third. And now Desert Hills has a runner on third and nobody out. It's a 3-1 count here on Seth Betts. Seavey ready to go. Betts in the batter's box. And the pitch on its way. Betts fouls it straight back. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. The count here on Seth Betts. Sam Roten on deck for Desert Hills. Begins to get a little more darker and grayer at the ballpark here as the high, darker clouds begin to move in over St. George. The 3-2 pitch, low ball 4, so Betts will draw a free pass. So Wingate got on via the hit by pitch. Seth Betts draws a walk, the 3rd time that Betts has been aboard. And now you bring up Sam Roten. Roten, who's 0 for 3 in the ball game, including hitting into a fielder's choice last time up in the 5th inning, will have an opportunity if he was to hit one of the gaps to kind of break this one open in favor of Desert Hills. 1st and 3rd here right now with nobody out in the inning. Maple Mountain looks like they're going to bring the infield in to try to keep this a 1-run ball game. And Coach Gary Miner is going to come out to the mound here. And I don't know if this is necessarily a pitching change happening or this is more just a conversation to make sure everybody on the infield knows what it is that they're that they have to do. Desert Hills will have a meeting over there. The Thunder have been a very good 3A program. A couple of years ago, making a deep run in the state tournament up at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah, where the 3A tournament was held that year. Last year it was actually held here at Dixie State University. Kind of gave some of these teams a little bit of a closer option to stay closer to home. A lot of the 3A teams that will be at that state tournament happen to reside here within southern Utah. Here's the pitch on its way home. That ball by Roten hit well to center field. Dawson Hall comes running in. Wingate going to try to tag. The throw from Hall is a one-hopper that rolls all the way to Peterson, and that's going to hold the runner at third base. A great throw from Dawson Hall. There's one out here in the 7th inning. Here's Chad Nelson. So right now a good opportunity there. Maple Mountain's lucky that one was hit where it was, where Dawson Hall was able to get a running start after he made the catch. Because had he not been able to, he would have had to stop and would have had to came up throwing. And Wingate might have had enough time had he had to go back on it and backpedal to potentially get home. But because the momentum was already taking him into his throw, runner takes it off. Now the runner breaks for the plate. The throw from Ellis, and they're going to have the runner at third caught. Peterson with it, goes back to Boyack, almost throws it over his head. The throw to Tyson Ellis is going to be applied, and he is out. Now the runner's caught between second and third. The throw back to second in time, and they get him, and the side is retired. Both runners got caught in a rundown, and Trey Wingate at the plate, you can tell a little beside himself there, and now the momentum has shifted towards Maple Mountain. The Golden Eagles flash the glove in the top half. Can they now get the bats to go in the bottom half of the inning? It will be the question that we'll find out. Caleb Peterson, Dawson Hall, Tyler Boyack coming up. Maple Mountain needs 2 to tie and 3 to take the lead and win the ball game of play in tonight's championship game. Let's take a moment here to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We got the Car Guys for the Car Guys Instant Replay, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Miguel Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, and 2 Jacks Pizza. We thank everybody for making that broadcast possible. We also invite you to follow us on our Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram pages, where you can catch up with the latest shows, live broadcasts, and our SF17 staff. Just look for Spanish Fork 17. A considerable change in the feeling of the ballpark after Maple Mountain came up with the big couple of plays in that bottom half of the inning. Dawson Hall able to make the great throw on the run to the plate in order to keep the runner at third, and then the Wingate getting caught between second and third, and then also getting caught between first and second. Now the Desert Hills Thunder try to hold on to this one, as you're going to have the top of the lineup here, or you're going to have the middle part of the lineup. You're going to have Caleb Peterson, Dawson Hall, and Tyler Boyack, and the first pitch in there for a called strike to Caleb Peterson. Peterson struck out in the second, walked in the fourth. The right-hander, Drew Thorpe, going to work. That one in there for a called strike, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes. Maple Mountain needs 2 runs to tie. They need 3 to take the lead. The pitch on its way misses. Ball 1, 1-2 the count on Caleb Peterson. Drew Thorpe, the right-hander, trying to go the distance for Desert Hills. The 1-2 on its way, missed off the plate. Ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Maple Mountain right now needs a base runner, needs something to get started. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball is going to be chopped high on the infield. Going to be fielded. The throw to first is in time, and there's one away. So 1 gone. Here's Dawson Hall. Hall has a single in the second, flew out to right in the fourth. Right now, as Thorpe gets ready to go, the first pitch on its way to Dawson Hall is going to miss for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Maple Mountain being patient right now, up at the plate, making Drew Thorpe throw some strikes. Really trying to find a way to see if they can get a base runner here And that one misses ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to count. The tying run in the on-deck circle for the Golden Eagles. Ready to go. Here's the 2-0 pitch on its way, and Hall swings and hits that one to right, and it's gonna fall for a base hit. So Dawson Hall able to get the single to right, and now the tying run coming to the plate here in Tyler Boyack. That ball was a hard hit ball to right, and now you bring a 0 for 2 Tyler Boyack to the plate. Boyack struck out in the second and then grounded back to the pitcher in his last at bat back in the 5th inning. Dawson Hall with good speed over at first base. The first pitch on its way. Boyack takes a called strike, and it's 0-1. The lights beginning to kind of come on here at Desert Hills. Here's the 0-1 pitch on its way. Boyack swings and misses, and it's no balls and 2 strikes to count. Thorpe ready to go here from the stretch. Hall gets his lead. Pitch on its way, called strike 3. The 9th strikeout of the afternoon for Drew Thorpe, and Maple Mountain's down to their final out here in the 7th inning for Colin Reed. Reed popped out to second, flew out to center. Ready to go, the pitch on its way. He's going to be in there, called strike 1. It's 0-1 to Colin Reed. Dawson Hall over at first base. Colin Reed represents the tying run. Pitch on its way, misses for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jake Roberts on deck if the inning would continue. Thorpe ready to go from the stretch. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and Reed hits this one into right field for a base hit. And Maple Mountain now, Dawson Hall's going to go 1-3. The throw is going to skip by, and getting into second base, standing up, is Colin Reed. So Maple Mountain now with some 9th inning magic. And now good speed on the base paths for Jake Roberts. And now the pressure all on Desert Hills. The winning run for Maple Mountain coming to the plate, and I think we might have a pitching change, and we will. It looks like it's going to be potentially Trey Wingett who's going to come in from center field to pitch. And if that's the case, he will face Jake Roberts at the top of the Maple Mountain lineup. Here, we're not sure yet. We don't have the official word on a change. But Wingett was pointed to come in from center field. And so a couple of changes here as Barbin will trade out gloves, it looks like. So Barbin will go to center. Trey Wingett will come in, and we'll try to shut this one down for Desert Hills. This would be a nice win for Desert Hills over a very good 4A team in Maple Mountain. This would be a nice one of those wins for Desert Hills, who's one of the more top 3A teams in their classification. This would be a very competitive ball game for them, and a good opportunity here for both these teams to play a very good competitive baseball game. So we're going to have 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The tying run for Maple Mountain sitting out at second base, which is going to be Colin Reed. Reed had the single just a moment ago. Dawson Hall had the hard hit single to right field with 1 out in the 7th inning. And then Colin Reed with Dawson Hall on at first base hit one to right field. Dawson Hall went from first to third. The throw came from Chad Nelson, was put on the line, but almost skipped past the third baseman. And if that might have brought home the game's first run for Maple Mountain. However, the runners on the throw, Colin Reed was alert enough to head up to second base. And now, as you see head coach Gary Miner there in your picture, an opportunity on a base hit, or even if a couple of balls got past the catcher, Krieger, that would be able to get back to the backstop. Maple Mountain would have a shot. So it's going to be Jake Roberts with 2 down here in the top of the 7th inning. Bottom of the 7th inning. It's going to be Trey Wingett will come in from center field, and he will pitch. Going off now to play center field for Desert Hills. I believe that was Bo Barbin who went back there to play center field. So a quick conversation between Krager and Wingate here. The one thing you can't do if you're Braden Wingate is overthrow and put something to the backstop where a run would score. You want to at least make Jake Roberts come up with a hit. If Roberts reaches, it would be Tito Dennison on deck. Running at third base, Dawson Hall. Colin Reed running on at second base. Ready to go here, and the first pitch on its way. Roberts swings through it and misses. No balls and a strike. You can tell he liked that first pitch fastball, and it's 0-1. Wingate here working from the stretch. Roberts stands in the right-handed hitter's batter's box, and with 2 gone here in the 7th inning. Maple Mountain has the tying run in scoring position. A base hit has a good chance to score him here. Jake Roberts walked in the first, struck out in the 5th, and also in the 3rd. The 0-1 pitch, Wingate on its way, and that one missed for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tito Dennison on deck if the inning continues right now for Maple Mountain. Wingate, that one missed. Ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. That one looked pretty good from my vantage point, but must have missed a little bit too inside. And it's 2-1 on Roberts. A fastball count here for Jake Roberts. Wingate ready to go. The pitch on its way. Missed. Ball 3, 3 balls and a strike. So now Trey Wingate going to have to come in with something good here to Roberts. Likely going to have to go 3-1 fastball. You don't want to load the bases for Dennison. The 3-1 on its way. Missed. Ball 4. The bases are full for Maple Mountain. And here comes Tito Dennison to the plate. Dennison grounded out, flown out, walked back in the 6th. And really right now all the pressure is on Trey Wingate. Wingate right here. Will work here from the stretch. Wingate ready to go. First pitch in there, called strike 1. It's 0-1. You have to kind of keep an eye here on the outfield because a base hit would have a good shot to score 2. And that one misses high and away. Ball 1. The count evens up at 1-1. The last thing you want to do if you're Trey Wingate is overthrow, not hit the strike zone, and then walk in runs. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Wingate from the stretch. Takes a look in. The pitch misses inside and tight. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Tyson Ellis on deck would hit if the inning continues for Maple Mountain. Golden Eagles down to their final out. Wingate comes set on the mound, ready to go. And everybody gets back as Wingate looks everyone back. The runners not being held on. Jake Roberts at first can get a decent-sized lead. The 2-1 pitch fouled straight back, and we'll have the 2-2 over again. Dennison got a pitch that he liked, but just fouled it straight back to the screen. Playoff kind of atmosphere right here for Maple Mountain, trying to get that big 2-out hit that they need. The 2-2, that one's going to be chopped back up. Wingate with it, the throw to first in time, ball game over, and Desert Hills will advance to the championship game and defeat Maple Mountain. The Golden Eagles had a late opportunity against Wingate, but couldn't get it done, and they'll drop this one 2-0. The Golden Eagles now will come back to play Payson at 5:45, an opponent they beat yesterday. And we will be back here on the air with you for more high school baseball coming up in a little while. Spanish Fork gets ready to take on Juan Diego, a rematch of a game from yesterday morning. Until then, for our entire Spanish Fork Community Network team, I'm Ryan Pickens saying so long for now until Spanish Fork and Juan Diego.